Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Siralim Ultimate. Last episode was a successful one. We took down False God, Caliban the Unredeemed, and despite me not knowing anything about that fight, we won. And what I did was, afterwards, I did look up how that fight works. And that's the way I'm gonna do things for the most part. I'm gonna go into these fights for the first time blind, because that's what one tends to do in video games. First time blind, and then after you see the thing, you permit yourself to look it up to see what the mechanics actually were. In fact, during the fight itself, it was very confusing. I had no idea what was going on. Looking it up afterwards, it made more sense, but still, there were a lot of things that the game didn't explain clearly. For instance, I wasn't sure how exactly we were meant to damage the heart, whether you have a window or whether you just need to do a lot of damage in one hit. And what it seems is happening is, what you need to do is you take down all of his body parts, then the heart is vulnerable, but as soon as the heart takes damage, it'll resurrect all the other body parts. And then you take the rest of the body down again, you get another shot at the heart, it'll resurrect the rest of the body again, but it only does that a limited number of times, and eventually the rest of the body simply won't resurrect. At least from my understanding of it. Beyond that, I'm not sure exactly what the specifics are, whether there's some damage cap on the heart during the first phase or the second phase after you take down all the body parts. So I'm not sure if you can take down the heart in one shot the first time it becomes vulnerable to damage. Because I do think that there probably are builds that at this stage of the game can prepare themselves to deal one really big hit of 30 million, and if given a window to attack the heart, whether they'd be able to take it down in one hit or whether there's some damage cap, because we know damage caps exist in this game. There are lots of enemies where you can't damage them more than 25% of their health in one go, for example. So I don't know if it's something like that, or if you can theoretically finish that fight in one cycle. Regardless, it was a pretty good fight, aside from being constantly blighted by the orbs. That put us on the back foot a little bit, having to dispel the blight, but yeah, beyond that, it never felt like we were in real danger, so it feels like that's a good fight for us. I kind of just want to fight Caliban over and over again at this point, but we do need to see the other gods as well. The other guilds as well. One thing I will do though is make sure we've got all our projects running. We do. Now that we're done with guilds, we can do regular projects again, which is good. I'm gonna go back to the Life Guild, and now that we have some level of reputation with them, we and you can see at the bottom we have some bonuses as well for being reputation level 5. These bonuses look like they are gonna be very slow to level up, but given that they are bonuses on top of everything else we're doing to strengthen our build, I'm not too upset that they are that low. They are just, free, augmentations to our build, so let's just be happy for what we get. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shop, and I am going to purchase the Griffin Veteran. Oof, that's a really, I would hate to have to fight these guys as enemies, because it feels like killing them is going to be a real chore. the gumption trait, when this creature would take fatal damage, a 50% chance. Be left with 1 health instead. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy this Griffin Veteran. And that means we can now summon it. That should also mean that we have gotten it as a bestiary entry. Let's confirm that. Griffins should be coming up soon. Here we go. We're into the Griffins. Griffin Veteran. Currently we have an F level of knowledge with them. Where all we can do is see the creature's lore. So when I was going through my very small card collection earlier, I drew attention to the fact that I have 7 out of the 8 Griffin cards. So I've collected all of the ones that you can get through, the ones that spawn normally in the realms. And I think the last one is one that will, well, I mean, it's obviously the one from the Life Guild, but the question is, how are we going to get the card for this? You could find it randomly through loot, I think, but I think the more reliable way is going to be to get our knowledge up with this creature and get it to rank A-ish, or a high enough rank that we can summon it at the Divination Candle, where I think the enemies have to be C rank or higher, and then we can start hunting it down. And what that'll do is if we get this final Griffin card, it'll further improve our rate of gathering resources over time. So that is going to be one plan. Oh, before I blindly go into doing realms, we do need to hunt down another false god, or decide which one we're gonna get. So we did a life one last time. Let's do a different one. Let's cycle through the different guilds, through the different gods. Spell healing. I mean, eventually we'll do all of them, but let's do this one. Indirect damage taken. I mean, the bonuses we'll get are going to be very, very tiny, but let's nonetheless. Ooh. Ah, so they all have the same gods. I thought different guilds would have had different gods to fight, but you can fight the same god. Or is it? Yeah, you can fight the same gods for any of the guilds, it would seem. And as a result, you can decide which exactly, which of the, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. It would have been a bit crazy to have, how many are there? 10 of them, to have 50 different false gods. That would have been a bit out there. So we can decide who we want to fight. All we are doing by picking the guild is deciding which one of them gets the, which one of them we get the reputation with. So let's do a different god and a different guild. That makes sense to me. Let's do Hydronox with the Nature Guild. Makes sense to me. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll find this person at Realm Depth 432. So if we do False God fights as quickly as we can without wasting time, it would seem that every six ranks we'll be able to fight another Yeah, we can cancel bounties as well, which we may end up having to do if it turns out we've taken a false god that is impossible for our build. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, I think we've been puttering around in our base a little bit too long. It's time to... dodge chance is pretty bad. It's time to go into another realm. So, what did we do? We did Eternity's End. We fought the false god there and we won. And got a pretty good look at this realm. So, our next target is the Fey lands. This is a pretty tricky area from my memory, but hopefully we'll do well. Got a decent loot bonus. We got pretty lucky a couple realms ago. A couple realms in a row, actually. A couple of videos in a row where we got some good loot bonuses that were above 400. But 323 is nice. And immediately I'm gonna, first of all, interact with some of these things, because I know that they are going to give us a... well, they're debuffing our enemies by reducing their stats. This is going to buff us. Oh. It's going to give us a random minion and a buff, and next battle we'll always dodge. I don't know if that is true for Nemesis fights, because I do know the always dodge thing. Okay, it does look like it works for Nemesis fights as well. So let's try and punch you in the face. Oh, I shouldn't have done that because enemies do have dodge chance. But we got lucky. We hit them. Alright, let's be... we have 6 enemies in total. Let's be a little bit careful with the order we do things in. What I would like to do is, if these things are going to give us a one-time buff, like a one-time bonus of dodging, I'd like to have that for when we fight the Master. I don't know if that'll apply for a Master fight. I don't know if that's considered to be like a quasi-boss fight. Why do we start damaged? Is that an enemy trait? What are the enemies fused with? They're fused with the ravens. It might be an enemy trait. Right. Those things are giving us a bit of loot, a bit more debuff action on our enemies. Ooh, and we haven't spoken to our god in this realm. Our god, who is Shalan, the goddess of prophecy. What does she have to say? She says, we are not very trusting of outsiders around these parts, much less humans. What business do you have here? Make it quick. Well, maybe you'll be a bit friendlier with a donation. She says, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, that's nice. Okay, let's carry on. Our realm quest is to light campfires. I don't think lighting campfires does anything. I feel like they're just special objects spawned into the realm when this particular quest is active. Ooh, hey, another low level nether orb. I always get so excited every time I see this pop up, and then sometimes it just turns out to be a low level orb, but that's okay. Our loot bonus is already getting loot for us, and you know, then it's just about seeing what kind of orb it rolls. And sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not that impressive, as it was in that instance. So, alright, let's carry on. But a few of our enemies are going before us. They didn't really do a lot to us. Alright. I'm just gonna take a look at the enemy traits. Enemies start battle with 80% health. I had a feeling that the... Did you get rid of my ethereal gems? What? Drain power. Is that what lost our... Is that what got rid of our ethereal gems? That's probably it. What else can we do? And you even got rid of some of our actual things. Oh, that is not good. Like our actual spell charges. Oh, this reminds me, I forgot to equip my anointment. I was like, didn't we get an anointment last episode that gave us more charges? We did, but I don't think I equipped it. Alright, so I'm gonna have to try and do a normal attack. Okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. But hopefully this finishes them off. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get up after this. Annoying fight for sure, but we got through it. Another strange looking enemy. Hopefully... Yep, we do have our ethereal gems back. So we can just take these guys out without too much of a problem. Now we have only one more wandering enemy to worry about. We also have other objects to interact with. That's probably our master. Other objects to interact with. But we'll worry. These are going to be optional combats. We'll worry about them after we've dealt with everything else in this realm, including this final wandering enemy. Our centaur duelist losing stats instead of gaining them because of some trait that the enemy had. Ooh, and we have a pandemonium shrine. That's good. Further debuffed enemies like that. And I'm not going to complete my realm quest just yet. I am going to, however, collect this. So I'm going to collect that. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to see, are there any parts of the map that we haven't been to? Yes, there is one big part of the map that we haven't seen. So we have a nether realm and a pandemonium shrine, which we're very lucky to have both of them. All we have here is a bit of knowledge, which I will take. Now what I'll do is I'm going to collect one of these. It gives us Savage and Unstable Horror, and we always dodge. And with this buff, I'm gonna go in here, just in case we have a combat situation. We don't have a combat situation, however, we should get a bit of free notoriety. This encounter, I seem to get this a lot. It seems that if you do have a Netherrealm spawn, this one is a pretty common one to get. In this encounter, we have this fellow by the name of Erst, who says, "Can you believe it? I just won this whole tavern from the barkeep over there. He said he could beat me in arm wrestling, and he bet his tavern on it." That seems kind of reckless. And obviously, the guy who won is in such a good mood that he shares some of his earnings, and by that he means some of the special currency called notoriety. The rest of the people in the tavern are just there with a bit of... you can get a bit of dialogue from them, but doesn't seem like it's anything noteworthy. I don't think you can't interact with these kegs in the back, or you know, pots or the tables themselves. You can, however, talk to the former owner, Fob Duel. An interesting name, who is now an ex-bartender. My whole life's work lost in a single bet. What have I done? I mean, that's kind of on you. That's kind of on you. Like, what would you have even gained is what I would like. Like, what did he offer as the other side of it? Like, if this guy had won the bet. But, you know, he lost, so sucks to be him, I guess. We still haven't gotten into combat yet, however, I'm not going to get that other buff just yet. I will pick up this emblem, however. Free emblem, always a nice thing to have. And now I'll interact with the Pandemonium Shrine. We channel the demonic powers of the statue, and it summoned a treasure chest. It's fine, I guess. There's a lot better stuff that you can get. You can get rare encounters, you can get dumplings, treasure golems, special fights with the Pandemonium King and Queen, and I'm sure other good stuff which I haven't even seen yet. But a treasure chest, I guess, is fine as well. So now what we'll do is we'll get our final buff, which is Rebirth, which is excellent, and Famine. And next battle our creatures dodge again. I don't know if that applies to trainer fights or master fights, because I think it definitely wouldn't apply in boss fights. I don't think. Yeah, see, clearly we didn't dodge that. Clearly we didn't. And we had a rough go of it. Was that an attack? Yeah, the enemy Dragon Revenant attacks, and we took all that damage. Had it been a spell, spells work differently, but attacks should be subject to dodges, and the fact that we didn't dodge that means that the always dodging thing isn't being applied in this fight. Anyway, let's use our macro and hope it works. Oh my god, what's going on? I think we might be screwed. We're gonna have to really hope that our Animatus gets a second go. Okay. Somehow, we're surviving mainly through luck. I need our Animatus to get another go. Okay, we might be able to do this. Okay, we got really lucky. We were on the verge of getting wiped out, but they were slowly taking damage every time they killed our Dread White because of the Woe trait. That's Woe spelled W-O-E and not W-H-O-A. I'll show it to you. After this creature dies, enemies take damage equal to 30% of its maximum health, but they seemed to have a lot of health to start out with. So could have gone very badly for us. In fact, we were on the verge of losing. And we would have lost if we hadn't gotten lucky with our Dread White getting the 50% resurrect chance several times in a row, which not only resurrected him, but also everyone else. Alright, now we've completed our realm quest as well, which is good. Before we end though, we've got a few other optional interactables, which I am going to interact with, starting with this. Teehee, you can't catch me. That will mean that that fairy has gone to some other part of the realm and she has spawned 2 enemies on the map. We'll worry about the enemies later. Let's also duck down here where we get an extra treasure chest, which is nice. And this group of fairies, which has a lot of flavor text. It says, a large group of fae are playing a game. Upon your approach, they turn their attention to you. They begin to point and giggle, which is pretty rude. And begin to pull on your ears. I mean, come on, that is not acceptable behavior. You swat one of them out of the air and stuff it in your mouth in an effort to assert dominance. Okay. While their actions were inappropriate, I feel like this was a disproportionate response. And I'm not surprised that the rest of them, the surprisingly appetizing phase friends attack. I never read this flavor text properly. I'm glad I did, because that is actually kind of hilarious. The writing in this game is actually really, really fun. But we should be able to wipe them out with a single use of our macro. Ooh, one of them survived the first round of damage, but not the second. But some of them will come back because a lot of them have a really irritating trait called dead butterflies. Yeah, the first three times it's killed, it comes back, and as luck would have it, it even beat our 75% chance of stopping a resurrection. Again, we stopped one of those, but not the second. This should be your final resurrection. That's the end of that combat. What do we get for it? 75 favor, a nice amount. Okay. That as well, and we have a nemesis group. 100% more health, take 50% less damage, making them very tanky indeed, but not tanky enough to survive our woe damage. And corpse explosions will finish the rest of them off, giving us a nice amount of experience and some loot as well. Okay, next we've got to find the fairy again. She's gonna do this a couple times before this event resolves, and there should be another static. Okay, I don't like blessed because they start with random buffs, which means there's a pretty high chance that one of those random buffs will be rebirth, which means the fight can be prolonged due to them coming back. But we should be able to deal with this, because surely, I was gonna say surely one of them will be struck down by final breath, but no, 2 of them passed a 25% chance. The odds of both of them doing it were 1 in 16. 1 out of 16. So they got. No, we have bad luck. Okay, that might explain why some of these rolls seem to be not going so well for us. So okay, these guys are agile, really annoying, but they stupidly attacked the one member of our party that would kill them if they killed it. So good job, idiots. You played yourself. Another nemesis group down. It seems that when you spawn extra enemies with events like that fairy that flies around, and there are a few others. Wasn't there the broom in the astral gallery? It seems that there's a high chance of those extra enemies being. Excuse me, what happened? Excuse me, what happened? Okay, so one of them has a really annoying trait called Shake that interrupted our spell. Hopefully you don't interrupt this spell. Again, these idiots have doomed themselves by killing the wrong member of our party. This Dreadwhite is going to be really annoying with enemies having luck on their side. Yeah, he is just going to keep coming back. Finally, after too many resurrections in a row, hey, we get a card. That's what I like to see. This is from the Paragon card set. Pick it up. Slaying the Nemesis creatures. Let's take a look at the Paragon card set. This is our first card in that set. If we find a second card, we'll start in this little collection of extra buffs, which make silenced a stronger debuff for the enemy. Interesting. All right, could be pretty powerful. All right, let's see. These fairies were a different color than the previous ones we fought, but it looks like the flavor text is the same. We attempt to eat one of them, and they get angry and attack us. Still, that's a crazy thing to do, and I'm sure, yeah, one of them will have dead butterflies and will come back. Shut down the resurrection 2 times in a row, though, twice in a row, so they weren't able to prolong this battle into a different turn. What I will also do, though, is I'll attract one group of Efreet, and we'll see what this fight is like. Okay, it seems like we're fighting them pretty handily. Okay, never mind. I made a huge mistake. They do have a pretty good chance of going ahead of us. So what I'll do instead is, you know what, let's just keep doing it like this. How many creatures in the realm we can deal with? We can deal with these guys. Okay, yeah, we should be able to deal with them. We're hoping that we get one of these guys to drop their card. We've already found one card in this realm, so already feeling pretty happy about that, but we'd like to get a second one if at all possible. Let me just quickly see how long we've been recording for. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be, we do need to pick up the pace, though, because I would like to get a second round done as well, if at all possible. So let's speed things along. Come on, let's go. We did get some special events in this realm as well. We got the Nether Realm and the Pandemonium Shrine. And we had a fairly long battle against the Master as well. So that would explain why this one has taken a bit longer. And we had a bit of talking to do in the beginning of the episode, dealing with the aftermath of the false god battle in the previous episode. This could be rough, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Alright. 12 more of them. Which should go by reasonably fast. Alright, come on. One good reason to fight Divination Candle enemies is that it does boost your levels as well. You gain small stat bonuses. Stat bonuses don't matter that much, but they can help you punch above your weight ever so slightly as you go into deeper and deeper realms. You never know when that tiny bit of health that you gained meant that instead of dying, you survived with just a small sliver of HP, as our enemies sometimes do, much to our frustration. And you get a good amount of experience from Divination Candle enemies, because I think after B rank they will give you extra experience. So this 145,000 we're getting, that's almost half of what the Nemesis enemies were giving us. So a decent amount. Okay. We've killed a whole lot of these guys, including I think 60 of them, 60 groups of them in a single episode, I think, in a single realm, back when we had that really great combination of enemies having bomb on them, plus all going first, so they were all killing themselves immediately at the start of combat. So we've killed a lot of these guys without finding their card. It will show up eventually though. I'm not too worried. Sometimes it takes a very long time. Cards are a very rare thing. And if nothing else, we are building up our stockpile of resources and, as I mentioned, getting a bit of experience as well. Gaining a few levels here and there. 3 of these people remain. Well, I don't even know where this guy came from, but he is one of them. Take you down. Okay, you are dealt with. Let's even deal with this. Oh, she has once again summoned more enemies. I thought that was the final stage, but I guess I wasn't counting. So there's 2 extra enemies on this map, in addition to these final Efreet. Where are the last ones? There's where she is. Where's the okay, I think the final Efreet is in these corridors up here. Yes. So we'll just take you down like this. I would prefer to attack enemies rather than having to use this spell, but in this map, enemies do have a high dodge chance, so I don't want to risk it. Because then if we attack and they dodge every time, it could make the fight even longer. Right, this Nemesis group. Alright, somehow they managed to kill us. We did have rebirth. I do want to take a look at why we died. Stay dead. Okay. Stay dead is it's one of those traits that counters our build because it deals damage to us if we resurrect our creatures. And our entire build is based on us killing and then bringing back to life this Dreadwhite. So if they have Stay Dead, that'll mean not necessarily that we lose, like, you know, we beat those guys. It'll just make the fight a little bit more complicated, where we have to balance out what we're gaining from the resurrection versus the damage we're taking. Another Nemesis group taken down, and we can end this finally, I think. 300 favor. Great, and we have donated, I am sure. Yes, we have. Fantastic, okay. Got a few things to do. We've got to turn our project in. Completes a prophecy task as well, which then completes a line and gives us an achievement. But I'm going to immediately start on another Keyforge mission. I just want to be constantly doing them. I want to stockpile a large collection of keys. Right? I don't have any anointments equipped. Indeed, I forgot to do it. So let us equip the only one that we have so far, which is supercharged. And yeah, it shows up. That's basically an extra perk that we've given ourselves, which is fantastic. Ooh. We start off with a realm item bonus of 327. No need to re-roll. And now we're going to go into the next realm, the faraway enclave. This realm has Lister as its god. Lister, who has I'm not sure what accent this is, but I'll try to decipher it as best as I can. What he says to us is, "Oi, great to see you out and about. What can I do for you?" I feel like I know what this accent is, but the name is escaping me. Anyway, let's make a donation. What does Lister have to say about that? Oh, appreciate it, mate. Okay. Apologies, I'm not, you know, a voice actor by any means, but, you know, I tried my best. Ooh, straight away we get Rebirth and 10% speed, which is good because if we look at the realm properties, we start with a pretty big speed debuff. Enemies are also healing every turn. They are now also cursed, and they've been damaged. Okay. Okay, these enemies seem to have largely wasted their turns. So let's largely waste them. Oh, somehow, because that one enemy survived, our corpse explosion cascade didn't... It was stopped in its tracks, but this should finish them. Okay, some of them are coming back, but they've immediately been once again banished to the void. Alright, we are mending. Even more speed. Get a conch shell. This treasure chest is cursed. Okay, so that's a little bit unfortunate, because it's going to end this realm quest immediately. Isn't that bad, I guess, but it does mean that if we lose to the trainer in this realm, then we've kind of missed out on the opportunity to do the trainer at this realm depth. It'll then force us to have to continue with our master fights on the next realm, so hopefully we don't lose to the trainer here. Okay, so what do we get? For the realm quest, 200 favor, more fortune. And the Goblet of Trials is full. We're gonna have to deal with that. Ooh, and also the mini quest in this realm is you have to find conch shells, and you have to give them to the imps living in these huts. I wonder if there's a way to tell which treasure chest is the cursed one and which one is the... which ones are fine. Enemies are sleeping, and they've been damaged. That helps, certainly, when they have a speed advantage if they're asleep and may lose their turn. We gain even more speed. Maybe eventually we'll draw level. There's going to be optional combat inside these things. And enemies are resistant to debuffs. So sometimes, it's a subtle thing, but usually when enemies are asleep, the Z's, you know, the Z, the thing with 3 Z's on it, which signifies that they're asleep, it will be in color, but in this case, it is in black and white, which means that they are resistant to this debuff, and indeed, if we look at it, yeah, they're resistant to sleeping. So that means they'll automatically wake up at the start of their turns. Alright, let's attack, I don't know, cockatrice, I guess? This should take care of this entire group. And maybe some of them are gonna come back? No. They are all dead for good. Ooh, is this our trainer? If that's our master, rather. If that's our master, then this must be loot for us. Yes. Ooh, we got a good amount of loot. No rare items, but I do always love it when the entire left side of the screen gets filled up with a wall of loot. Getting more favor. Oh, this interactable will give us, well, we'll give it 250 of each resource, which is nothing at this stage of the game. In exchange, we get 150 favor, and enemies get a slight debuff as well, which is good. And we have a... oh! Oh, my sticky A key prevented me from answering that correctly. I didn't even see what the question was. That feels bad, but I think we've already gotten the achievements for answering Riddle Dwarf questions. Is that a realm thing or a character thing? Thoughts and prayers. It might be a realm thing. Realm quest. Yeah, here we go. Correctly answer 300. Riddle me this. I don't think there are any more riddle me this achievements. No, well, no. We have 500 to answer, so yeah. Every time I get one of those wrong. Okay. Never mind, we definitely do need to continue answering Riddle Dwarves, because we've got a few more of those achievements to get. So I feel pretty annoyed that we squandered one of them, but long term we will get all of them. So don't worry about it. Another Pandemonium statue. That's great. Let's interact with it straight away. It's made our enemies weak. Another hut. We'll give them the conch shell, which I believe they're using as helmets. Do this. Pick up another emblem. And one of our enemies... enemies are being very annoying by going so quickly. I will try and just end this fight. I think we did a pretty good job of that. Not entirely sure what's going on, but once again, they didn't really make good use of the initiative that they had moving before us, so it sucks to be them. Right, now let's is this a... It looked like a treasure golem for a second, but it's not. It's a different kind of golem, a magma golem. So once again, they had a pretty bad time. Not really able to do anything with the few turns that they had before us. Giving us an easy win. Okay, now we've got to take care of the other things. Let's do these optional combats first. Might be a bad time. Okay, we're getting debuffed pretty badly. They are attacking themselves as well, and I think that's going to be the end of them. Because we do have more corpse explosions on the way, yes. Scary for a second, but ultimately we dealt with it. There's going to be another one of those. Ooh, there's going to be the last hut. This is going to give us some treasure and some favor with Lister. How much do we get? 150. Let's do this one. Okay. Annoying, but not as annoying as the previous encounter with these guys. So once again, we get more favor and worked out pretty well. The only major thing left to do on this is the well, ooh, there's a chest. Shouldn't leave treasure just lying around. The only major thing left to do is, okay, this could be a tough fight. Sparktails are so this guy has recompense as his trait. If he's attacked, it deals damage to all enemies equal to the damage taken. So we gotta make sure we don't attack him. Instead, let's attack somebody else. Let's attack this one. I don't know what happened. I don't know why recompense triggered. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but it's here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to cast a blight. I'm defile rather. With the Dread White, I'm going to cast Archangel's Blessing. The oh, you came in clutch with the second Archangel's Blessing. With the Vivifier, let's use the macro. Double killing the white. This should kill them without triggering any annoying recompense damage. Now, unless they come back, which they don't, we should win pretty handily, and we beat the Sparktails. It was a strange fight, but we won. Am I going to summon Efreet to fight? Well, let's summon one group and see how it goes. And they're all going before us, which means it's going to be too slow to fight a lot of them. Let's just kill this group of 5 and then call it a day. And if we're lucky, we'll probably go slightly over an hour, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, let's just kill this group of 5. Yeah, they're not even gonna be able to kill themselves effectively because they're healing every turn, which is another annoying thing about this realm. But I think these guys are done for. One of them's gonna try and come back and immediately gonna be shunted back into oblivion. Where are the last? There's one there, and then there are going to be 2 close to the exit, so let's take care of you first. Let's wipe you out. Annoying, but we should be fine. Our Ebony Ants should be able to come back as well, and they attack themselves. Still no card, but oh well, it'll turn up eventually. Alright, let's finish things. And if we're lucky, maybe we can keep this to under 1 hour. I think we can, because you are the last enemy and we are also right by the exit. Yeah, just barely. We're gonna clock in just barely at under an hour. Alright, let's finish things. Dead, 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 and dead. And we are out of here. Anything else at all? Ooh, there's a chest that I didn't open. With a whole bunch of things. No special loot. And there's some low-level loot that I'll occasionally leave lying around. Don't mind if I do. It's like this blue thing over there. You know, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Oh yeah, oh no, we've got to deal with the Goblet of Trials. This might take a while. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We'll collect our reward. Thank you. Another good amount of piety. Now we have to re-roll this until it allows us. Until Animator is one of the 3. Oh, well that didn't take long at all. Do we have any projects to run? No, we don't. Okay. So we are done with this episode. We equipped our new anointment right at the start. We bought the Griffin Veteran. Hopefully at some point we will get enough knowledge with it to be able to we're already at E rank with it, so we're getting there. Eventually we'll get enough knowledge to be able to summon it at the Divination Candle, which will give us a chance to hunt down its final card. But yes, that's another thing that we did, and of course we dealt with 2 different realms, beat both of them, including the masters in both of them, although the Sparktail Master gave us quite a bit of trouble. And we found one card as well, so slowly making small amounts of progress on all kinds of fronts. But yes, that is going to be all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. When we come back, what we're going to try to do is we'll try to take care of... We'll only be able to do... excuse me. We'll only be able to do one realm. Because then the boss fight will have its own separate episode. We'll decide what else we want to do aside from the realm next episode. Maybe we just leave it as a short episode. Maybe we find something else to do. We will decide that next episode. But for now, it's time for me to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. And hope you'll stick around for the next episode as well. So until then, take care.